Unfortunately, a number of cast members who once heroically fought for a second chance at life have suffered tragic deaths, rocking the world of My 600 Pounds life time and time again. Despite their well-earned advancements, some participants had life-threatening health issues, while others battled heartbreaking emotional suffering. Fans were devastated and in sorrow after the untimely deaths of these 600-pound live stars. Perez. Laura Ann. When viewers initially encountered Laura, she weighed about 600 pounds and was dealing with the severe psychological and physical effects of being extremely obese. Her mobility, independence, and general quality of life were all significantly hampered by her weight. She was aware that in order to survive, she needed to make a significant shift. She then turned to Dr. Nowzaradan, a well-known geriatric surgeon, for assistance. Laura showed immense resolve right away, in contrast to some participants who found it difficult to follow Dr. Now's rigorous diet and exercise schedule. She put a lot of effort into losing enough weight to be eligible for gastrectomy surgery, which is a significant step in getting her health back. She was able to continue losing weight and cut back on her food intake thanks to the surgery. It was not an easy procedure, though, to lose so much weight. To overcome the patterns that had initially caused her weight gain, she needed to put in a lot of emotional and psychological work in addition to physical effort. Laura had come a long way by the time her Where Are They Now episode aired. She had fallen more than 300 pounds, which is a remarkable half of her maximum weight. Through this change, she was able to restore her freedom, mobility, and capacity to enjoy life in ways she never would have imagined. She was enjoying her newfound independence, living life to the fullest, and looking forward to what was ahead. Many viewers were moved by her success story, which demonstrated that real change was achievable with commitment and tenacity. Because of this, fans were devastated to learn of Laura's passing in November 2021. Well-wishers. She had made great progress, conquering great challenges to live a healthier life. However, her voyage ended much too soon. Her premature mortality serves as a sobering reminder of the long-term health hazards associated with excessive obesity, even after major weight loss, even though the circumstances surrounding her passing are still unknown. Foots. Henry. Henry transformed his life in ways that many could only imagine when he lost an incredible 440 pounds over the period of 7 years. But his voyage was far from fluid. He overcame tremendous physical and personal obstacles along the road, which tried his commitment and added to the inspiration of his metamorphosis. The death of Henry's father was one of the first significant setbacks he experienced. It was a devastating blow that left him emotionally exposed. He lost a job that was significant to him at the same time, which made his already challenging weight loss journey even more stressful financially and emotionally. In spite of these obstacles, Henry was determined to let go of the burden and taking back his life. He had several operations to remove extra skin, which is a standard procedure for people who lose a lot of weight. Even so, there were risks associated with this move towards improved health. Henry had a severe medical emergency during one of these operations. On the surgical table, his heart stopped. He somehow survived the ordeal after being revived by medical professionals. But Henry was still put to the test by fate. He experienced an unexplained medical episode in November 2012. As a commercial shuttle bus driver, the car veered off course and struck an SUV at an intersection after he passed out while driving. Many lives were tragically affected by this catastrophe, which tragically claimed the life of an innocent spectator. Despite surviving the collision, Henry's health deteriorated over the next few months. Henry Foots died in May 2013 at the age of 54, less than a year after the accident. There was some intrigue because the reason of death was never officially disclosed. About his last days, Henry's narrative is still one of tenacity, fortitude, and the quest for a better life in spite of all the challenges he encountered. King James. James King, who weighed about 790 pounds when he first showed up in Season 5, was among the largest contestants to seek Dr. Nowzaradan's assistance. He was nearly immobile due to serious health difficulties brought on by his weight, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and mobility problems.
James was in dire need of a
second opportunity at life. However, he encountered several challenges along the way, which ultimately resulted in a tragic conclusion. James found it difficult to adhere to Dr. Now's rigorous weight loss regimen, in contrast to many of the other patients on the show who made progress via simple willpower and self-control. His eating habits and his reliance on his family, especially his wife Lisa, were his main problems. James received detailed instructions from Dr. Now on how to reduce his weight in order to get ready for bariatric surgery, but consistently fell short of the required objectives. He gained even more weight instead of losing it, which irritated Dr. Now and made him worry about his general health. When Dr. Now began to think that James' wife was supporting his unhealthy lifestyle, things became quite serious. James continued to gain weight while in the hospital, despite the medical staff's best efforts to regulate his eating. This led Dr. Now to suspect Lisa of smuggling him food against his doctor's orders. The circumstances were It was so bad that Dr. felt obliged to contact Adult Protective Services, APS, to find out if Lisa's behavior was causing James' health to deteriorate. Even though this was a drastic step, it demonstrated how serious James' circumstances were and the vicious loop that kept him from moving forward. James' health rapidly deteriorated over time. His organs suffered from his enormous weight, and he experienced serious complications like kidney issues and infections. In April 2020, at the age of 49, James, who was elderly, died of renal failure after entering septic shock. His death served as yet another heartbreaking reminder of the negative effects of severe obesity and the need of escaping enabling situations. Bushel. Robert shed an incredible 340 pounds within the first 5 months of his weight loss journey. His impressively quick recovery demonstrated his commitment and readiness to adhere to Dr. Now's rigorous workout and nutrition plan. Because to his diligence, he was even approved for weight loss surgery, which was a turning point in his recuperation. Many thought Robert was headed for a new chapter in his life, one where he could regain his independence and break free from the constraints his weight had imposed on him because of his encouraging metamorphosis. But behind the surface, Robert was engaged in another conflict that would ultimately result in his premature demise. He had medical operations to remove lymphedema lumps from his body as he dropped weight. Despite being necessary, these surgeries affected him. Severe discomfort. He was administered pills as a coping mechanism, and he eventually became dangerously dependent on them. His dependence on painkillers started to interfere with his development, and he began to experience emotional difficulties. His loved ones and medical staff were concerned as he grew more reclusive and showed signs of despair. Sadly, Robert passed away from a heart attack in November 2017 when he was still trying to lose weight. He was the first to take part in the history of the show to die while being filmed. Catherine, his fiancée, who had been by his side the entire time, helping him in every way, was distraught. Robert's problems went beyond his physical health, as she later disclosed that in his last days, he had exhibited emotions of hopelessness and even opposition to continue his weight loss quest. Fleming. Lisa Fleming was unable to move and weighed over 700 pounds when she sought Dr. Nowzaradan's assistance. She needed 7 paramedics merely to get her out of her residence since her condition had gotten so bad. A startling incident that let viewers realize how serious her obesity-related health problems were. Lisa's tale served as a sobering reminder of how excessive weight gain may deprive a person of their freedom and standard of living. The underlying causes of Lisa's obesity struggle were childhood trauma and poor eating patterns that grew worse over time. She had long battled with weight problems, and by the time she was on My 600B Life, she had gotten to the point where she needed help with even the most basic everyday duties. A vicious cycle of hopelessness and gluttony was only exacerbated by her reliance on others and the psychological effects of being bedridden. Lisa was determined to change, even though her situation was terrible. She was put on a rigorous diet under Dr. Now's supervision in order to assist her drop enough weight to be eligible for bariatric surgery. Under medical supervision, she was able to decrease 200 pounds and had the transformative surgery. But Lisa's problems didn't stop there. Even though she made some initial improvement, she struggled to maintain her weight loss without the hospital's controlled setting. She found it difficult to sustain the food and lifestyle adjustments required for long-term success after returning home. Lisa encountered numerous health issues along the way, many of which had been for a long time before she sought medical attention. Danielle, her daughter, was by her side, hoping she would make everything better. But years of obesity-related ailments had already caused significant harm to Lisa's body. Lisa died in August 2018 at the age of 50, only a few months after she appeared on the show. Danielle claims that her mother passed away from a number of ailments that had afflicted her even before she sought Dr. Now's assistance. Her passing served as a tragic reminder that, despite efforts to cure it, excessive obesity can have irreversible effects. Milliken Shawn. Shaw Milliken was more than 900 pounds. He was among the largest people ever portrayed, weighing in at pound. He was nearly completely immobile, reliant on his mother for care, and dealing with emotional and physical strains as a result of his battle with excessive obesity. A combination of overeating and long-standing psychological issues, many of which sprang from a challenging upbringing and a tense relationship with his father, had caused his weight to skyrocket. Shawn was committed to changing his life in spite of these obstacles. Under the direction of Dr. Nowzaradan, a famous geriatric surgeon, he started a rigorous weight loss regimen that necessitated a significant shift in his eating patterns and a more active way of living. Shawn lost an incredible 400 pounds thanks to medical assistance and pure willpower. He was able to reclaim his freedom and live without the ongoing physical and emotional suffering that had afflicted him for so long thanks to this incredible accomplishment. But as soon as he was making substantial advancement, Shawn's path was halted by a slew of heartbreaking personal tragedies. His mother, Renee Milliken, who had been his main carer and staunchest ally, died in 2017. Shawn was devastated by her passing because she had been his pillar of support during his battles with weight and mobility. In addition to causing him emotional distress, losing her put him in a perilous living condition. Tragic events occurred once more during that year when Shawn's Hurricane Harvey inundated the flat. He only had the clothing on his back after the natural disaster destroyed the majority of his possessions. Shawn struggled with loss, sadness, and an insecure housing environment, making it harder and harder for him to sustain the development he had put so much effort into. Shaw made an effort to keep losing weight, but his health kept becoming worse. He died in February 2019 at the age of 29 following complications brought on by an infection. His passing was devastating. Conclusion to a tale that had been so promising at one point. Randall Ashley. Ashley Randall was barely 24 years old when she competed in the first season of the show, making her one of the youngest contestants. Ashley began her weight loss journey weighing over 600 pounds, and in addition to the physical burden of her size, she was also coping with significant emotional and personal issues. She bore the burden of prior trauma, like many others who sought Dr. Nowzaradan's assistance, and the mental health issues that frequently accompany food addiction. Ashley showed incredible commitment to taking back her life in spite of the numerous challenges she faced. She eventually lost the weight that had been holding her back for so long by adhering to the strict diet and exercise regimen prescribed by the doctor. Her efforts paid off, as she eventually dropped to 265 pounds, an amazing amount of weight to shed. This was a huge achievement that greatly enhanced her general health and mobility. Many were inspired by the journey, which demonstrated that even the most formidable obstacles could be surmounted with perseverance. Ashley's achievements, however, were unable to shield her from the long-term health effects of her previous battles with obesity. She continued to struggle with several severe health conditions throughout time. Her body had suffered from years of stress, making her susceptible to infections and other issues. Sadly, she contracted a serious infection that swiftly evolved into sepsis. Is a potentially fatal illness where the body's reaction to an infection causes extensive organ failure. In a last-ditch effort to rescue Ashley, doctors put her on life support as her condition worsened. Hoping for a miracle, her family stuck by her side. However, Her body was unable to heal even after medical assistance. In the presence of her loved ones who had been there for her along her journey, Ashley died away on October 2, 2021, after being taken off life support. McMillan, Kisa, Lisa. Years of. Kisa McMillan's body had suffered greatly from carrying too much weight, making her susceptible to a number of health problems. Kalisa sought the help of renowned bariatric surgeon Dr. Nowzaradan because she was determined to take back control of her health, even if her condition included risks. Dr. Now understood Kisa's perilous position. He was really worried about her general health, and he had a strong suspicion that she might be suffering from an intestinal blockage. That might be lethal. He did, however, proceed with bariatric surgery in the hopes that it would assist her in losing the weight required for long-term survival, considering her severe condition. Unfortunately, the dangers he was afraid about turned out to be disastrous. Following her gastric sleeve procedure, Kisa started to suffer from disastrous side effects. One of the procedure's stitches failed, resulting in sepsis, a serious and potentially fatal illness. Sepsis is when the body reacts severely to infection, which could result in organ failure and extensive inflammation. Doctors put Kisa on a ventilator to help her breathe as her health quickly worsened. She fought for her life in critical condition for 2.5 weeks. In an attempt to offer Kisa the best chance of recovery, physicians took the painful decision to place her in a medically induced coma as her body battled the overwhelming virus. But the toll of the catastrophe was already in spite of extensive medical. However, the problems prevented her body from recovering. Kalisa McMillan unfortunately died in September 2020 at the age of 41 from complications following surgery. Her tragic passing served as a sobering reminder of the serious dangers associated with extreme obesity and weight loss surgery. Despite her wish for a second chance at life, she was cruelly dealt a hand by fate. Barron. Renee Barron, a former plus-size model, has made a living by embracing her size. However, as time went on, her weight became out of control and started endangering her health. She was anxious for a change and prepared to go to any lengths to take back control of her life by the time she appeared on season 6 of the show. Renee started a difficult weight loss journey under Dr. Nowzaradan's supervision, adhering to his rigorous diet and exercise regimen. She overcame the obstacles that had long held her back by exhibiting incredible dedication and discipline. Her diligence paid off. She was able to shed more than 250 lbs, lowering her weight to just less than 390 pounds. Her mobility and general health were enhanced by this amazing accomplishment, which also offered her hope for a better future. Renee envisioned going even farther with her metamorphosis. She was excited to get skin removal surgery to get rid of the extra skin that remained after losing so much weight. The next stage in her quest to take back her life would have been this treatment. But as soon as she was about to go to her aim, disaster struck. Renee's aspirations for additional surgery were dashed when she was cruelly diagnosed with a crippling autoimmune condition in early 2019. She had to change her attention from losing weight to just taking care of her health because her condition prevented her from continuing on the route she had planned. Renee's condition deteriorated over the course of her illness, and she was eventually admitted to a nursing facility where she received the necessary care. Renee continued to be surrounded by love in spite of the disappointments. Through her hardships, her family and friends were there to support and console her. Renee passed away in May 2021 at the age of 56, leaving a legacy of fortitude and tenacity in her wake. Gina Crassley, who weighed more than 600 pounds, found it difficult to follow Dr. Now's rigorous exercise and nutrition plan. Progress was challenging because of her emotional and psychological struggles with food as well as the physical constraints placed on her by her weight. She occasionally struggled to reach the objectives established by the doctor, and she didn't initially meet the requirements for geriatric surgery. Gina persisted in her resolve to take charge of her health in spite of these obstacles. Gina kept up her weight loss efforts after appearing on the show. She then revealed in public that she had lost an amazing 300 pounds, which was evidence of her tenacity and dedication to making a change in her life. Despite not being one of my 600 pounds life's most successful instances, she made great progress and maintained optimism about her future. Unfortunately, the narrative was interrupted. She died on August 1, 2021, at the age of 30. Fans of the show were taken aback by her unexpected passing because she was still quite young and had been working to get healthier. Since there was no official cause of death listed in her obituary, many people were left to guess as to what might have caused her death. But what was evident was that she spent her last moments with her family by her side, surrounded by affection. Bonner, James Lb. The difficulties James Lb. Bonner had with. After his right leg was amputated in a terrible ATV accident in 2013, he started gaining weight. He turned to food for solace as a result of the tragedy of losing a leg, ongoing discomfort, and emotional misery. His weight eventually became unmanageable, rendering him practically helpless and in dire need of assistance. LB set out on a rigorous weight loss quest after seeking advice from Dr. Nowzaradan, determined to regain control of his life. Through rigorous exercise, eating, and ultimately weight loss. Surgery, he was able to lose almost 300 pounds and reclaim his freedom and mobility. LB was well known for his upbeat demeanor, sense of humor, and drive to encourage others who were battling obesity throughout his tenure on the show. This was also evident in his social media activity. He regularly shared words of encouragement for people going through similar struggles, updates about his journey, and inspiring sentiments. For many supporters, LB was a triumph, demonstrating that one could recover their health and joy. But below it all, LB was struggling with a serious case of depression. His emotional scars from his background never completely healed, even though he lost weight. He battled issues of self-worth, personal hardships, and the psychological effects of his radical shift of lifestyle. Unfortunately, these conflicts became to be too much to handle. When authorities performed a welfare check on LB on August 2, 2018, they found him in a ditch close to his South Carolina residence, having shot himself in the head. He was only 30 years old. Fans, acquaintances, and family were surprised by his unexpected passing. Many were unaware of the extent of his inner turmoil. Kelly Mason was experiencing physical difficulties, burdened by a number of serious medical issues in addition to her excessive weight. She had a pulmonary embolism, diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, and thyroid issues. She also suffered from a potentially lethal blood clot in her leg, which was a life-threatening condition. Health problems. Kelly was adamant on changing her life, even if the odds were stacked against her. Kelly showed incredible dedication to Dr. Now's rigorous weight loss regimen. She took it seriously from the beginning, in contrast to many patients who found it difficult to adhere to his strict diet and exercise regimen. It was obvious why she did it. She desired to survive. She worked hard, adhered to the program religiously, and lost an incredible 324 pounds. This degree of weight loss prior to her commitment and determination were demonstrated by her decision to get surgery. Kelly felt hopeful about her improvement. She had aspirations of taking back her life, becoming self-sufficient, and being free from physical limitations. She was happy and hopeful as the burden was lifted. She also felt like she had a future for the first time in years. She was no longer merely getting by. She was struggling to live her life. However, tragedy struck just as Kelly was about to embark on a new chapter in her life. Even though she lost a lot of weight, her body had already suffered irreparable harm from years of stress. Her heart was weak because she had previously experienced congestive heart failure, and the effects of her previous weight had persisted. Kelly died of heart arrest in her sleep the night before her 42nd birthday. It was a terrible and unanticipated loss that brought home the harsh truth that sometimes even the best efforts are too late to reverse years of harm. Ventris Matthew, Lashy Destiny, being the first transgender individual to be featured on. Many people found resonance in Destiny's experience on the show, not only because of their battle with excessive obesity, but also because of their path to honesty and self-acceptance. Destin, whose real name was Matthew Ventris, battled despair, trauma, and an unhealthy relationship with food for years, causing their weight to dangerously approach 700 pounds. 700. Both mentally and physically, Destiny was in a grave situation when they went to Dr. Nowzaradan for assistance in 2019. Their weight had severely damaged their health, restricting their freedom of movement and endangering their lives. However, Destin's mental problems went hand in hand with his physical difficulties. They talked freely about their mental health issues, including anxiety, despair, and the agony of feeling confined in their own bodies. They persisted in their resolve to take charge of their lives in spite of these obstacles. Destiny started an amazing weight loss journey under Dr. Now's method. They lost more than 500 pounds by following the rigorous diet and fitness regimen. A remarkable metamorphosis that boosted their self-esteem and enhanced their physical well-being. Destin was able to completely accept who they were as a result of this approach, and they became an inspiration to others who were struggling with gender identity and body image. They inspire innumerable people along the journey by using their platform to promote body positivity, mental health awareness, and self-love. But even with their outward metamorphosis, Destin's interior struggles persisted. They stayed candid about their struggles with mental health, regularly talking about their despair in interviews and on social media. They were burdened by the anguish of previous tragedy, personal losses, and current emotional difficulties. Destin tragically committed suicide in February 2022 when they were 30 years old. For their loved ones as well as the numerous others who had drawn strength from their narrative, their passing was a terrible loss. How do you feel about every member of my 600 pounds life passing away? Please share your thoughts in the section underneath. We hope this video has been useful to you. If you enjoy it, remember to subscribe to the channel, share it, and give a like. I appreciate you viewing, and I hope to see you in the upcoming videos. Farewell.